All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Rough roads ahead. We'll try to smooth out those rough roads. So I understand what Cash is trying to do, and for some positions in the FBI, it makes absolute sense. But it's a large part of the FBI is a brainiac agency. I mean, yeah, you have a lot of admin employees, but well, lifestyle is generally more sedentary than the others. Sitting in front of a computer all day doing their work sometimes. And again, it's not an excuse to be out of shape, but you don't want to cut down your experience base. I mean, FBI has been known to recruit people, right, just based upon capability. Well, you get these arguments back and forth all the time in government, in military, and I don't think it's necessary in all positions. Kind of a weird night. I really cramped up on my right side pretty hard, so I didn't take any bath or anything like that. So now the question is whether the what's actually doing it. Is it the lumbar or something else? Because it actually can cause your one side to cramp up over another. Just kind of warmed up just now. The sun's a little higher in the sky. After I get out and try to walk it off a little bit because I had this issue yesterday. It kind of released a little bit. I got to try a massage. It's just if I could have got to this point 4 years ago, I'd have been working on it 4 years. I don't know that epidural didn't do much of nothing. I didn't know that there's such a thing as a failed epidural. Well, I know most likely, getting to, beyond doubt that if I could get the upper back to relax instead of trying to overpower the other side, and it ends up going up into the neck, which is hopefully there's no cervical damage. Then I think it would adjust in, making it more comfortable, but I would probably still need surgery. Again, as soon as they messed up my massage therapy, that's when they routed me into this life. Remember, they're the ones having sex, not me. So again, you're in the running for office mode, as if you're not in the office. And somebody pointed out in a news article already that you are the government. I guess Christie said that. So what you've done is you've now attacked the employees. Like you're not really the government. It's the employees that are the government, and they're the enemy. And you're just a democracy. But it's not going to work, and it's not working. People are just, they know they're just waiting for that moment to screw all of you. They really are. So from what I can see, 4 years ago, if I could have gotten this all released, I probably would have been able to walk okay, for the time being. But probably would be looking at surgery in the future. Again, deep state they were very busy. They were definitely infiltrated the hospitals and the medical system. Now, to what level that played out, I can't tell you. No, it's what they wanted to do. It's what they get paid millions of dollars to do. The rest is an illusion, a scam, cover story. They aren't protecting anybody. They're doing the reverse. Right. So the government has certain requirements. And those requirements are kind of non-negotiable. Yeah, I'm sure if I was in Kansas City instead of Santa Fe, I wouldn't have been completely blocked from massage. There would have been some place for me to go. Right. I think what they're trying to do is to get me to go to the sex ones and then say I was in a sex one or something like that. But I was waved off. Somebody told me what they were doing in there, and I couldn't go to it. Okay, that was my package. It's funny the UPS guy beeped at me, and it was my package after all. I didn't expect anything. Oh darn! Cut off. It's still there. It's still there. Now my right side cramps up, and then it inflames the arm sometimes. The left side does the same thing when it cramps up. So I gotta try to stop that from happening. He's still over here. Amazon has a new return policy and for some items, and I didn't know it. What was happening is I was paying off the balance, and then they were refunding the money later. And then I had this big credit in my account. I came to the conclusion that these people that are selling these Bluetooth speakers, the influencers, they're just making money. They're lying. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's in there though. Where is it? There's a couple of adapters that I purchased. They're like L adapters for USB, so I can plug in my splitters. My splitters don't go into the case. So it's like an extension, but it turns it on its side so I can see the diagram better. One side's charging, one side's the audio dongle. Hopefully the volume is up loud enough for this. I have no capability to turn the volume up any louder. And maybe it works best that way. I don't know. I'm going to actually go inside and take a look on the other phone. Right, there's probably no way around it if it's taking them 30 days to credit your account. So again, that's probably going to push people. Once people start seeing that, that's going to push them to like Target and Walmart and Best Buy. Now, I kind of had this inflammation yesterday morning, and then by afternoon it was gone. So I don't know what it's going to be like today. That's from being cramped up, I think. And I think once it relaxes, and I want to look on the phone here. See what kind of volume I'm looking at here. What kind of volume I'm looking at here? Looks like it's pretty good volume. Hopefully it's loud enough for everyone. What kind of volume I'm looking at here? Looks like it's pretty good volume. Yep, that's great. It doesn't work in Chrome where I can adjust the volume. But that's just an aggravation. None of the Bluetooth speakers are clear. They're all muddy. I guess Bluetooth works for headphones, but doesn't really work too good for speakers. And I wouldn't mind it, but for some reason they no longer offer like USB, because I guess it costs a lot of money for a USB connection. What they should do is they should start selling that option where people can buy the Bluetooth only model, or they can upgrade and spend, whatever it is, $25 more to buy the USB. Just a USB connection. It doesn't have to read from a USB flash drive or anything. Something where we can just plug our phone in and get that clear connection. The one I bought actually is a Soundcore Anchor, and it has I guess the LDAC upgrade to be clear. But because I'm sitting there going, it sounds better on my phone. That's why they replaced clarity with bass. And even this thing is supposed to be spatial and more. And yeah, it's more spatial and clearer than the other speakers, but it's still, it's like boombox quality. It's not digital. Sub even like a CD or something like that. And I put it on high. I guess because I'm not streaming high res at that point. But they definitely blocked my healthcare and my physical therapy. I had no clue. 4 years without even researching it. It's not something I do. Well, I'm not like beating on you. You can't be in that mode because the people, they don't receive it in that mode because now you're the government. So as the government, you're trying to say the employees, and then the employees are the ones doing the work. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Now, I don't know if it's true, but now they're saying like the parks are getting trashed, and I mean, to a certain degree, you're adjusting the government for what you personally want it to be. I understand waste and abuse, but it wasn't all waste and abuse, and the people know that. I mean, you're going to talk about, what was it, a transgender movie or something, movie funding. That's fine. You get rid of that, But and again, the question is whether you can actually do that because of the laws in government. There is a law, the rules, regulations, and laws. Well, it's too much red tape, then you take care of it, but you have to do it through the procedure. They're trying to make what you all did to get elected was make everybody else the enemy. If you have a problem, it's this person. Now you're doing the same thing, but you're in office. That's why the Democratic Party took over the House so quick. I think it took over. I got to remember what happened back then. You can't do that. You got to actually perform. So in your minds, you're all thinking, well, I'm just going to say that it's all their fault. It's somebody else's fault, and it's not going to fall back on you because it didn't, it got you into the office. Definitely eating too much. That's from that steroid, so I got to stay out here walking. I think one of the issues. Remember, I was carrying that music thing. It shouldn't happen. I mean, but the music thing in my right arm. I think that actually inflamed that side of my body a little bit. Not the music thing, the broadcast, the pole. So it tightened up that side. The question is, can we get it to relax and release? Might take a steroid shot, a direct. Now I tried to switch it to my left, but I may have overpowered it on the right. So you have to get it to release before it'll, kind of balance. And they shouldn't have been allowed in my life. The reason these people are running around me trying to confuse everything and psychologically torture me. But it's the weirdest part for conservatives is that you keep saying democracy, but you're really saying like a democratic king. Oh, because the Constitution. What you're doing is you're saying the judge. It's not the judge, it's the Constitution of the United States. That's what you're up against. So you're doing that campaign mode again. The judge. Unelected. Well, I'll tell you, if you ran that election today, Trump would be unelected. So again, let's be real. I mean, what you're doing is you're speaking to the party faithful, and that's okay. But that's not going to get us where we need to go, and then we'll freeze. It'll freeze everything. So the judge is actually an arm of the Constitution. It's in the Federalist Papers if you would read it. Supposedly they're all Federalists. Again, not having a bathtub is interfering with my ability to take a bath at night. And that could be causing some of this. He was taking some Epsom salt baths at night. I was hoping for the steroid to relax me enough. I mean, it's just so discouraging to know years ago that I took care of this and was in, the chute for health for the rest of my life, and they were allowed to engage in crime at such a high level to move that all away. And there was nothing I was doing. It's just the same people paying money to kill an honest cop that they hate. And no, I wasn't like hunting after people. It's the reverse. I give people the benefit of the doubt. They want somebody just going to lock this person up and not that person. So, again, pattern and practice keeps rearing its ugly head. Retaliation. You can't say what you're all saying. Okay. You say you've crafted your words craftily, but your actions and your attitudes and your pattern and practice says it's just additional retaliation. I mean, you took the clearances of people that offered free services to Jack Smith. can't do it. Not like that. I mean, you can do it. Like you're authorized to do all that, but you're saying because they offered him some service that they're now governmentally persona non grata. What you can't say is that somebody else did it. You understand that? You can't say, well, the Biden administration, the court, that doesn't work in court. Essentially, they could launch a class action lawsuit, and it's probably coming. Because it's within the job description of the president to do what he did. But in the executive branch. But the way you went about it and what you're actually doing is not. Well, I'll tell you right now, those people, whether you took their clearance or not, are not interested in going near the government. At this point. However, it does hinder their ability to defend anybody in that regard. There's a lot of people that know that, you have to understand people that are like resigning, it's because they can. They don't want to be part of it. From the government. They don't want to be part of the government. There's just one cluster. I mean, these people, they're just coming in and going, I know everything, and we're saving the people. And meanwhile, these people work for 20 years to protect people, 30 years. And you're telling everybody that they're the enemy. And you're the do-gooders trying to save them money. And no matter what you're doing, it's all about LGBTQ videos being funded in foreign nations. And see, that's the problem when you do that, is because the USAID funding was a variety of things. And we already know that the State Department has picked up some because it couldn't be just thrown out with the bathwater. No. You're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Well, I don't know. Yesterday, I had the same thing. I woke up with a ton of inflammation. It could be from the steroid. I don't know. And then about midday in the afternoon, somewhere, it kind of went away. So hopefully it goes away. But again, I don't know who's advising. I guess nobody's advising at this point. Well, because who is there left to advise? Because Trump's making a ton of mistakes. See, that's the problem when you do all that. You don't even know who you got rid of. You have no clue. I know how it works in government. They give you a job, you do your job. Like I said, I worked for Clinton all those years, and I never pulled a punch. I worked great for those people, but I was a conservative. I was a Bush Cheney guy, actually, like a Herbert Walker Bush, or not? Is that his name? Wait, GW is George W. Herbert Bush, whatever it was, Herbert Bush. Right. I was a Desert Storm vet, so we were under Reagan and Bush. There's a lot of people that believe that the rockets should be put off for a few years until the budget is fixed. Like boom, zero. Just what's necessary to get people out of the space station. Well, if you were only trimming, all that craziness, then people wouldn't have a problem with it. It just seems like there's really no method to the madness. It's just marketing. Like you're marketing a method to the madness as a form of psyop. It's like this tissue right here on my trapezius. Yeah, I just need probably trigger points up in that direction. And I had to use that magnesium oil today, so that's going to screw it up for what I had going yesterday. Now I turned the heat down last night. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I think it's just tight. It needs to be massaged out and worked, hopefully. So essentially, when I get that right side to relax, the left side starts picking up, and it's kind of almost bilateral at that point. And that's what I needed 4 years ago. Couldn't even see it. Boy, it's nice out here. Now I'm too warm. I put my long sleeve shirt on and some light cargo pants. Oh boy, sun's beating me up. I need to put a t-shirt on. Am I broadcasting here? Yeah. The light on the device isn't too bright. Yeah, that whole thing about returning that, because it just tears me up because I can't keep that item. It's just the sound is so horrible. It's almost as weird as it sounds. My little ounce, the little ounce, it almost sounds the same because I got no clue. It's like a $29 speaker sounds like a $149 speaker. I mean, it's not the app's nice, the build is nice, your features are nice, but the sound is just kind of. You know what happened is I got spoiled because I used to sit in Oklahoma in that room and listen to my music while I was online. And I had, and actually also in Santa Fe, I had a Klipsch soundbar. It was just a basic model, but I got it real cheap, but it was an expensive one because they're expensive. I was trying to get upgraded to that level. I just never got to it. So I had a little subwoofer and a little, sound bar, and it just sounded great. Now this one was supposed to have the same quality because it's like a 3.2 or a 3.1, or I forget what it is. I guess a 3.1 or something. But it's a 3-channel thing. Actually, it's a 3-channel, and it has an up-firing speaker. But I think what it was is the other one I connected in with HDMI, and it was digital or USB. I think I also used USB. See, what I'm figuring is if I have to go, for surgery, I wanted a speaker with me. But at this point, I think it actually sounds clearer on my phone. I'm like, what? What? And I guess it would. Something's degrading it. Because again, I'm not using high level audio, but I'm comparing it to the coming straight out of the phone to what's actually coming out of the speaker. All they need to do is put a USB port in there. But I guess it would need a decoder or whatever it is. That costs a little bit, but I at this point I definitely pay for it. I'm out there looking for a Bluetooth speaker that's also USB. Can't even find it. Yeah, I got a ton of inflammation. I guess when I'm cramped up, I don't feel it. But again, I've released it before and it goes away. It's just. So I got to get back to massage. Just wish I had the money to bring somebody into the apartment. First, I'd have to get it cleaned a little bit. Apparently, people that were in the government, some voted for Trump to clean up the government. But now they're getting rid of them, so it's insane. Well, I don't know who's advising. I'm trying to advise you all because somebody's not. You don't have any advisors, or they're not telling you the right thing. People always do stuff in government, but they don't do it the way you're all doing it. They do the same thing. They're underhanded, you know, but they're not out there with it. Well, they could actually, the president's allowed to take somebody's clearance, but those people will probably, how you doing? Will probably actually be able to sue because of the way you're doing it. I agree there. Well, because I guess they depend on their clearance to be able to defend people in certain cases. Cases of a national security nature or sensitive law enforcement nature. I think. I'm not sure. Agreed, sir. Well, you're articulating something that, pattern of practice does not substantiate. And again, you have to understand Jack Smith's case, all those cases went through the courts. There were judges around those cases. You're not going to win in a battle against the judges. Well, it's part of the United States. We're not a democratic kingdom. That's pretty much what you're all not even looking at a democracy. You're looking at a democratic kingdom. Well, the president's only partial of who's in government right now. There's other people that have been elected, other people that have been appointed. Look, if we went to the system of just taking judges and change my shirt here. If we went to the system they have in some state systems, we'd have narcos electing judges. We would have narcotics organization affiliated judges. See, I can see that this cramp here is causing the issue. But, the question is how to get rid of it. Again, might take trigger point shots. But I have to wait for a period of time before that'll be able to be doable. Again, if I'd stayed on this, if I could have got my mind around it instead of being harassed, I did something in Oklahoma and I'd be doing this like 3 years ago. I'd already have my answers. Or before that, if I could have got to Philadelphia. Again, they're blocking it. Everybody knows that. Now, my right side's still too tight, so my left is kind of funky. Not as bad as I think it was, but I got to get this right side to relax. Get out of the way. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my shoes. I didn't see they got a Hy-Vee delivery van. That's very interesting. Yeah, it actually could just make massage might actually do it, unkink the muscle and the nerves, and relax everything. Just a matter of getting to these places. It's just easier to run them into my house. So yeah, I'm trying to tell you that you're setting yourself. Somebody's setting you all up. And you don't have somebody who can advise you in the right way. It's just better not to do it and just let it go, and then fight the fights that are worth fighting. Well, the judge is going to ask you what the evidence is, and when you present the evidence as to why Jack Smith and why why the attorneys that helped Jack Smith should lose their clearances, the judges would say, well, then should the judges use their clearances too? And of course, Elon will say yes. And again, Elon's another special case. Should Elon lose his clearance? No, he doesn't even have one. So again, I'm just telling you what it looks like from the outside in, because I know you're in some sort of mind meld that's not working. Well, this is what's going to happen in the courtroom. You're gonna be infuriated. You're going to be infuriated with your future in the courtroom, all of you. This is the kind of stuff like the one judge, Reyes. I mean, because it's ludicrous. Your arguments are ludicrous. So what's going to happen in the future is these judges are going to act just like the same way Reyes did. But they might just be, okay, you're going to play that game, we'll play that game. We won't act that way, but we'll slam you. Right. So again, I'm actually back in. This is so weird. And you're going to make it hard, difficult for a lot of different things. Different people, senators, congressmen. Again, like Lindsey's just not saying anything, but he's rolling over in his grave because you're killing him. I mean, he supports you, but give him some slack. So actually, as I walk, this thing is starting to let go a little bit. So again, it's just the beginning. Now, see, I pulled it. I'm trying to figure out what it is. I'm hoping it's not a disc in my neck. Ugh. I mean, I was afraid of that last time, and I actually went in. She should actually give me shots. I went into an orthopedic urgent care, and they should have lined up shots in my back and neck. I should have been given the option, a steroid shot. I told her my neck just like got real, all this tightened up and did. I mean, it's right when it started happening. And I just couldn't get any service there in Tyler. And she had an attitude when I went in there. I suspect something was up. Somebody made a phone call, like a nurse practitioner. Now, if they right when this thing was starting, if they would have gave me probably 2 shots, one in each, side of my back, it probably would have at least came under control till we figured it out. That could just be agitated nerve endings and muscle and all. Like cramped muscle tends to get all agitated, and then it just cramps itself up again until it's stopped. Like I said, something just beeped it. I had it all released, and I was moving my neck all over the place, looking for pain, looking for a trigger, couldn't find it. So it could still be just weird from all the other stuff. Well, you're throwing allegations out there. Like it works for campaigning, but it's not going to work in a court of law. You can't say this person participated in a prosecution of me, therefore they are considered a criminal or not worthy of a background investigation. You can take. You see what I'm saying? You went too far. You could take that background investigation. You have the authority to do that. But when you sit there and you say those type of things, and there's judges that were part of that process, it's just it just doesn't serve the purpose of anything actually, except shooting yourself in the foot. I agree with you. Okay, yeah. Comparing the two sides, this is much firmer over here and much tighter. Try to that to level off with the other side. A lot of inflammation today. So again, there's ways to do it, but it's not the way you're all doing it. It's weird. It actually feels hot today. I have to put my shorts back on. 'Cause I like about an hour ago. It must have just like went up 10 degrees or something. An hour ago, I was freezing in my shorts and t-shirt. So if we had a system similar to the state system of electing a judge, because I think that's where a lot of this was going. Elon saying unelected judges. I mean, somebody like Elon could just elect a judge. If Elon is interested in narcotics importation, then that judge would side with Elon, or he wouldn't get his funding. Well, that's messed up. That's not the same ounce as that. It's a smaller bottle. How can they both be 8 ounces? Unless this one isn't all the way to the top. Okay. Let me take a look. Okay, yeah. It's not all the way to the top. I'll be back in a second. Praise God.